guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the massive all-time high breakout that Bitcoin just witnessed. As you guys know, around 5 o'clock Eastern yesterday, Bitcoin broke above our all-time high that we set back on October the 20th and 21st, and we are currently, at the time of recording this, sitting at $67,750. In today's show, not only are we going to be talking about Bitcoin and how it could potentially go from $78,000 to $93,000 by the end of this month. I'm going to explain both of those numbers here in a second. We're also going to be looking at Ethereum, Cardano, and EGLD, also known as Elrond. You guys have been asking for that project for a long time. We've got a lot of analysis to talk about. We're not only going to be doing technical analysis, we're also going to be doing on-chain and fundamental analysis. We have several on-chain metrics telling us that the end of this bull market is nowhere near. We're going to be talking about some major developments happening in the state and city of New York having to do with Bitcoin and blockchain development. And we're also going to be talking about Zimbabwe potentially following in the same footsteps as El Salvador. I can speak. Now, really quickly, even before I introduce Tim, I want to explain, where does that $78,000, where does that $93,000 number come from? Well, $78,000 is the minimum price target from the Lux Algo reversal zones. We're going to be looking at that here in a second. And then we're also going to be talking about the $93,000 price target that the pseudonymous PlanB made for the end of November. Both of those price targets are in play for the end of November, and we could potentially see Bitcoin rally that high in just the next 3 weeks. I am joined, as always, by TA Tim. How you doing, Tim?
I am here. I had a good workout today with old Smainold.
What kind of workout, Tim?
We did upper body, so it was kind of weird.
Nice.
You know, as I'm continuing to rehab my shoulder, felt a little pathetic. But you know what? It's about going in and putting in the work, even when it's not fun. So
there you go. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put in the work today, even though it is fun. We are joined, as always, by Smay. How you doing, Smay?
Hello, everybody. I did the exact same thing as Tim today, so that's about it.
So what exactly did you guys do this morning? Like, what kind of workout?
Yeah, we benched,
did some bench press?
Did some pulls and some tricep work.
There you go.
But,
Yep.
There you go. Guys, we got a great show for you lined up today. Smay, can you introduce some of our members?
I would love to introduce some of our members. I would actually like to, today is the one time I want to do it every once in a while. Can you go ahead and shout out all the people on the trophy today?
I certainly can,
because we're about to do price predictions today, so just so we know.
I completely forgot about price predictions. Crap. We are going to shout out all of our Jebb Grandmasters. Thank you guys very much for being on the HODL trophy, which I'm currently holding because I've won 3 weeks in a row. Adam Rorick, shout out to you. Shout out to Matt C. Shout out to Tommy Lou. Shout out to Edward Hess. Shout out to Yard Dog himself, Rick4962. Shout out to Daniel Walton, Screwhead, and Dennis Pizarka. I got that right. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Isn't that right, Tim? Didn't we discover that that's how we pronounce that name?
I have no idea. I don't.
Well, yeah, you're probably the wrong counsel. Smay, is that the right way to pronounce that name? I think it is.
Yes, I think that is the right way.
Cool beans. Well, guys, we got a great show lined up for you today. And by the way, today's show is brought to you by Lux Algo. It is one of the indicators that you're going to see me using in our analysis today. It's a fantastic indicator, and if you would like to get access to it, you can get 20% off with coupon code Jebb by using the link in the description box down below. But before you go and sign up for it, wait and see if it is going to be helpful in your analysis. I think you will find it to be so. But let's go ahead and jump onto my chart, and we're going to jump into the bullish segment of Bitcoin. I'm sorry.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to say that there was one more name, guys. Rook Dwyer, one of our newest grandmasters.
There we go. We got to put him on the trophy.
There we go. I just want to shout you guys out.
Good deal. Thank you very much to Rook. Guys, let's go ahead and jump into the Bitcoin technical analysis. The way this is going to run, we're going to do some bullish TA on Bitcoin until about 9:45. We're going to look at the bullish segment, the bullish scenarios. Then we're going to go into a quick intermission, read some of your super chats. We've already got some flowing in. Then we're going to go into the bearish segment. There's not a lot of bearish news on Bitcoin. Naturally, we've been doing very well. Then we're going to look at 3 different altcoins. We're going to look at Ethereum, Cardano, and EGLD, also known as Elrond. Then we're going to move into some news and some on-chain metrics. And then around halfway through the next hour, we are going to be doing some discussion between myself and Tim, kind of wrapping everything out. It's going to be a great show. If you do enjoy today's show, smash that like button. It helps to promote us in the algorithm. If you think more people will get value from this show, that is a way that you can help to spread the word. Let's go ahead and jump on right into it. Let's go ahead and dive right on into it, I suppose is the right way to say it. Here is what we've seen happen over the last couple of days on Bitcoin. Bitcoin rallied from $60,000 back on November the 6th. Over the last 3 days, $8,000 to the upside, 13%. That is already a significant move, but it's significant for more reasons than just the fact that it rallied $8,000. It's significant because over the last several weeks, there has been a concern that Bitcoin was going to double top by stopping its rally somewhere around $66,000 to $67,000, as $67,000 was the new local high, new all-time high that we set on the 20th of October. Well, that concern has now been completely and utterly assuaged. You probably haven't heard that word in a little while. Bitcoin doesn't need to worry about a double top right now. Why? Because we just set a higher high. The reason that that's important is because an uptrend is classified by having higher highs, as we can see, many higher highs. In fact, there's 6 major ones that have been in play ever since June and July, and then also major higher lows. We can see that there have been 4 or 5 major higher lows in the last couple of months. What does this mean? Well, it basically means that Bitcoin right now is in a massive rally. It means that we have confirmed this rally. It means that we have not set a lower high. If we were to have set a lower high, like at $65,000 and started pulling over, then that would indicate that we were moving into a long-term downtrend, which could end a 3 or 4 month uptrend. But so far, that has not happened. That's why this break above $67,000 is so important. It's not just, let's go pop some champagne corks because Bitcoin broke all-time high. It's more important than that. The reason it's important is because we've set a higher high, and that confirms that this uptrend is not over yet, and we can be expecting more to happen. But there's not just that. If we look at the MACD down here, we can see that Bitcoin's MACD has crossed bullish. Now pause. What does this mean? MACD is one of the most fundamental technical indicators that you'll ever use in your analysis. MACD has a history of having these crosses whenever we're about to go into a new trend. So, for example, we have just entered a new uptrend. We were in a sideways range, as it's called, for the last 3 weeks. But over the last 2 days, we have entered a new uptrend. And MACD has the history of confirming those new trends. So the fact that we've seen a bullish MACD cross here just yesterday is a very good sign. Because if we look at the last several times that we've seen bullish MACD crosses, which are these where this blue line crosses above this kind of reddish orange line, that is called a bullish MACD cross. The major times in history where that occurs, you can see that generally a rally is going to ensue following that trend reversal. So the fact that MACD is cross bullish historically is a very good thing indeed. Now, if we take a look here at our Bollinger Bands, we can see that Bitcoin has gone from a range, which, remember guys, there's 2 types of markets. There's ranging markets where we're trading sideways, and then there's trending markets where we're moving in the either to the upside or to the downside. We just moved from a ranging market where we were trading sideways to an uptrending market. In doing so, Bitcoin just went from a period of very low volatility. You can see that here by the Bollinger Bands. Basically, the way the Bollinger Bands are calculated is that the upper band right here and the lower band right here represent 95% of the last 20 days of price action. It's 2 standard deviations from the 20 daily simple moving average. Breaking that down really simply, because I know that's kind of technical, that's for all you guys who are interested in the way it's calculated. Basically, what Bollinger Bands, which is the thing on my screen right now, tells you is how much volatility is in the market. How quickly is this market moving? You can see the market had been losing volatility for a couple of weeks here, but over the last 2 days, that volatility has come back in a big way, and Bitcoin has rallied quite far up outside of the upper Bollinger Band. This indicates 2 things to us. Number 1, it indicates that the market is very bullish, and number 2, it indicates that volatility is returning to the market. We need to see volatility. We need to see volume. We need to see volatility. We need to see retail investor interest whenever the market wants to go into a big uptrend. Why? The more volatility you see, it means the more power there is. If there is a stalemate between the bulls and the bears, everybody kind of gets bored and goes home. We don't want that. We want a lot of volatility in the space because it means that there is exuberance. It means that there's enthusiasm. It means that there's, fuel. You got to have a little bit of fire for that rocket to take off, right? You can't have a rocket take off and there just be a tiny little bit of fire. You need a lot of that. You need some volatility. It's very important. We also need to see retail investor interest. We want to see people piling into the space, just dumping money into Bitcoin, and that's what we're seeing happen. And we also want to see volume. If we take a look at our volume here, we can see yesterday we saw an above average volume day. Today has just barely begun, and we've already seen quite a bit of volume, more so than we have seen in the last 4 days collectively. So we are seeing all 3 of those come back into play. Very, very good sign there. Now, if we take a look here at the RSI, we can also see something else that's very interesting. RSI on Bitcoin right now is giving us both a bullish and a bearish signal. We're going to talk about the bullish signal right now, but if you want to see the bearish signal that RSI is giving us, hang on just a minute. We're going to be going into that here in a second. The point here that is bullish on RSI, though, is that we're sitting at 68. Basically, what that means is that RSI says that the bulls are strong, but they're not too strong. Because if the bulls get overly strong, then they can overextend themselves and they can lose their power. We don't want that to happen. We want them to stay strong. Right now, it looks like they are. Now, going down here to the 4-hourly chart, we can see that the RSI is similarly still in what we call the bullish control zone. We're sitting up here at 72. We're a little overextended, but it's a 4-hourly chart. Basically, we're just getting a good sign from the bulls right here. Nothing too much that we want to worry about. Now, down here on the 1-hourly chart, I want to show you something on MACD that's really interesting. T-Shroom, one of our researchers, helped to find this. Take a look here at the 1-hourly chart MACD. This might be my favorite piece of technical analysis that we're going to do all day. Take a look here at the last 4 times that we got to this level above 700. I'll just go ahead and draw a horizontal line right here at 700. Take a look. The last 4 times we got above 700 here on the hourly chart. Well, what happened on the price action? 3 of those 4 times, Bitcoin went into a major uptrend. You can see it happening right here. 3 times we saw Bitcoin move into a big uptrend. The 4th time we saw a downtrend. And what we have just seen is we've just seen Bitcoin rally above 700 again. And 3 of the last 4 times that we saw that occur, Bitcoin would go in a big rally. For example, here we saw a 15% move to the upside. For example, here we saw a 13% move to the upside. For example, here we saw a 10% movement to the upside. The 4th one we did see a correction. But take notice of the fact that that was actually the smallest rally above 700. You can read the MACD similarly to how you read RSI, in that the MACD will give you information about the strength of the bulls and the bears. The MACD right now is telling us that the bulls are very strong and that the bulls are in charge, and that we should not be concerned about the bulls losing their strength. They might have a small correction, but we should be very excited right now. And you can also see down here on the 1-hourly chart, by the way, that we are currently printing a bull flag. And then depending on whether or not you draw the flagpole from right here or right here, I'm going to be more conservative and draw it right here. That's giving us a short-term price target, as in like the next couple of days, at $70,000, but we'll get more into those price targets a little bit later. I want to zoom out to the daily chart really quickly and look at another indicator of ours called Market Cipher. On the daily chart, we're going to take a look at it. It is an oscillator down here, and we looked at this yesterday, so I'm going to be kind of brief on this. I told you yesterday that the day before yesterday was the buy signal as far as I'm concerned. It looked like Sunday, if you had been looking at Market Cipher, it would have given you a buy signal. By the way, you can pick this indicator up down below. It is Crypto Jebb approved, but we saw a green dot right here. That indicates that the momentum is moving to the upside. I'm going to read the indicator, and then I'm going to kind of break down what I'm talking about. We can see at the RSI right here, that's the RSI up here, is trending to the upside, means that the bulls are in charge. We see the momentum, which is right here, is trending to the upside. The money flow right here is trending to the upside, and the VWAP is sitting right up here above 0. All of this is to say that right now on the daily chart, Bitcoin is very bullish, but the buy opportunity was probably on Sunday. So pretty much, if you want to buy into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, if you want to buy into Bitcoin, that's great. It's probably going to do well, but you're getting in a little bit late. If you are doing analysis, if you're following this channel, if you were learning about how to do all of this from our channel, then you probably would have seen 2 days ago was the better time to get in. And just so you know, 2 days ago, Bitcoin was sitting at $63,000. It's at $65,000 right now. That's the power of technical analysis. I digress. Let me break down really... What's that?
68, almost 68.
Almost 68. What did I say?
You said 65.
65. I'm sorry. 68. You can't speak this quickly without making a couple of mistakes. I do apologize. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Tim.
Just want to make sure, because otherwise...
I don't want to spread any misinformation. I appreciate that. Nevertheless, the RSI right here basically tells us how strong the bulls and the bears are. Right now, it's sitting at 99.9, says the bulls are very much in charge. The momentum is telling us which direction the market's moving in. That's this blue region right here. This blue is telling us, hey, we're gaining momentum. We're moving to the upside with more power. That's very important. This line right here, I'll just kind of go ahead and trace it so you can see what I'm talking about. This is called the money flow. That is telling us how much money is flowing into Bitcoin. Duh, that's what it's called. That makes sense. That is telling us that over the last 3 days, we have seen the amount of money moving into the cryptocurrency market increase by quite a bit. And this kind of jagged line down here, this is called the VWAP. That's the volume weighted average price. I'm not going to go into how that's calculated, but essentially it tells us, are we above or below the median price of the last certain amount of time on Bitcoin? Right now it says we're above it. It's a bullish signal. It's very important. If we look down here to the 4-hourly, actually I take that back. There's one more thing I want to show you on the daily chart. And it has to do with Market Cipher's DBSI. This is another part of the Market Cipher package. Like I said, Market Cipher is one of the sponsors of our channel. If you would like, you can get it down below. Right now, DBSI, which comes from the Market Cipher package, is giving us some very large numbers on the bottom of the candlesticks, as opposed to very small numbers and even negative numbers on the top. You can think of negative numbers like a vacuum. It's sucking you in that direction. And you can think of the big numbers like a magnet of the same pole. It's pushing you away. So these big numbers are pushing us to the upside. These small numbers are sucking us to the upside. So DBSI is telling us there's a lot of bullish pressure right now. But looking down to the daily 4-hourly chart, Market Cipher is giving us a little bit of a different signal. It's pretty much telling us, hey, look, the market is kind of needing to consolidate, and that's pretty much what it's doing. So Market Cipher down here on the 4-hourly chart, not going to go into a bunch of detail on it, but that's pretty much what it's saying. And then down here on the 1-hourly chart, it's kind of different again. We're actually potentially getting a little bit of a conflicting sell signal. Momentum is moving to the downside. We've in fact seen a lower high on momentum up here. You can see that trend is moving down. We can also see that the RSI sitting up here very bullish, says the bulls are in charge, but momentum saying, hey, the bulls are in charge, but they're losing strength. That's pretty much what we're seeing right here. RSI is high. It means the bulls are in power, but the momentum saying they're losing strength. Money flow is saying, hey, we're doing really well. Money flow is still ridiculously high, but it is dropping a little bit, so be careful on that. And the final thing I'll point out here is that momentum looks like it might be reversing and moving to the upside. Pretty much everything that we're seeing right now is that the daily chart, very bullish, says that the time to buy was 2 days ago. Probably not too late, but the time to buy was 2 days ago. Hourly chart and 4-hourly chart is saying, yeah, we're bullish, but we need to consolidate. With that said, we're going to move into our first intermission here, and then in 5 minutes, we're going to dive right back into the Bitcoin technical analysis. We're going to take that to the top of the hour, and then we'll go into another intermission, and then we're going to do some technical analysis on some of your favorite altcoins. So drop a like on the video if you're enjoying the video. Let's see. Let's go to full screen. Let's see what we are at right now. We're at 600 likes and 3,000 people watching. We can get to 1,200 likes here in the next couple of minutes. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and read some super chats.
Yeah, also, if this is your first time here, welcome. So glad to have you. Consider hitting that subscribe button. We are here every single day, starting at 9:30, and starting yesterday, we've been going, what, now about 10:45?
We've been going to about 10:45, 10:50.
So if you love this information, definitely hit the like button. Consider hitting subscribe. But now we're going to go into some questions from our fans and our super chat. So we got one, first of all, from Agent Gold, who is a member. I think he's a Padawan. But he said, question is for Jebb. But all three can't answer this. My brother wants to know, how much can you deadlift?
How much can I deadlift?
Yeah.
Well, the first time I ever deadlifted, I actually set my PR, and I haven't tried that yet. Again, it was 225. Literally, tell me you were there. You want to tell the story a little bit? I mean, I was there. You were there. You were the one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he just picked up the weight. You know?
So yeah, I just picked up the weight. You know, right now I'm working at 135, but if I were to try a PR, I could probably do 255.
Come on.
Do you think that's realistic? I probably could.
I don't know. I haven't seen you lift here in a minute.
I'm lifting 135 for like 12.
Yeah.
So
I think correct form and everything, you could probably get there.
What about you, Tim? It's May.
What you got, Smay?
What can you deadlift?
I have no idea. I've never tried to get a PR on deadlifting. So
my PR is,
I bet you can do 500.
My PR was 750.
What the freak? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
More recently, I mean, a couple months ago, I did 550 for a couple reps. So
sheesh.
I don't know.
Okay, let's go 750. All right.
Yep.
Nice.
All right, keep moving on. Alessandro the Cynical said, "Hey guys, do you think that through crypto we will ever manage to take away the world's government's ability to irresponsibly print money?"
I'd like to think so, but I kind of doubt it. And the reason is because the governments in the world are so entrenched in our lives that it would take a massive shakeup in the way that we do everything for that to happen. Alexandra Anasio just asked, "What's a PR?" That's a personal record, is what that is.
Yeah. So Geoffrey Freitz, and that's how I'm going to pronounce his name for the rest of eternity.
Oh my gosh.
He's an FSU fan, so we have some bad blood. Geoffrey Freitz said, "Shout out to Smay and his Twitter post. Get it." For those of you who don't know, Thicky Smay, at Thicky Smay on Twitter.
Yeah.
Smay is freaking killing it in getting active, eating good.
Smay is doing
When was
great.
the last day you did not do a workout, Smay?
It's been a month. It's official. Today is officially a month. So.
Good for you, Smay. That's insane.
Yeah.
Good job, Smay.
So I think what he's referring to is this morning I posted a progress
Let's
pic.
go, Smay. I see it. Good for you. Guys, go follow Thicky Smay on
you want me to go to the screen so they can see?
If you want to show
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
This is Smay's tweet. He has lost a lot of weight. In fact, he's lost over 30 pounds in how long? Like 30,
in a month.
45 days?
In a
About a
month,
month.
yeah.
This dude is losing so much weight. Good for you, Smay.
Yeah, thank you.
Good for you, dude. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Austin Patrick said, Jeff, what do y'all think about? I think sometimes the computer autocorrects. So,
It probably does.
What do y'all
It does
think
it to
about the
me.
chart comparison? I tweeted y'all last night comparing the daily back to the end of September, almost identical. No.
End of September. So I know what he's talking about. Let's look at my chart real quick, and I'll show you what he's talking about. The end of September, he's saying that Bitcoin was trying to set a new high, but it really didn't get that far. Here's the thing. September saw a lot of manipulation. When El Salvador formally adopted Bitcoin, there was a massive long squeeze that should never have happened. And in my opinion, I don't have any proof for this, but it really did look like manipulation. I think we're in a different market right now than we were back then. I don't think the same thing's going to happen, personally. I think we have time for maybe one more.
Well, we have a super chat, unless I'm missing it. Kuma Kennedy gave $5. I don't see a comment there. Also, Jedi Master Stumpy wanted to make sure we read his comment. He said Smay is a tank.
Let's go, Smay.
Yeah.
Let's go, Smay.
I just have to shout out Crypto Optimus said is going to be Thinny Smay. I just want to shout that out.
We're getting there.
That made me chuckle, guys.
Hashtag Thinny Smay. I love that.
Yeah, I'm scrolling to make sure I didn't miss anything. If we did miss anything, we'll definitely go in the next intermission to read anything.
Heck yeah.
But I think we are good.
Guys, drop a like on this video for Smay completely one-upping both Tim and I. He's worked out more in the last 30 days than Tim and I have combined.
Yeah.
Like, that's freaking awesome. Good for you, dude. All right, let's jump back into the TA, and unless you have anything to add to that.
No, we're good.
Cool. Let's go ahead and jump back into the TA here. We're going to do about 10 more minutes of Bitcoin TA. I do need to show you some bearish things because remember, one of the things that we try and do here is we try and show you every side of the argument. I don't like just saying we're very bullish and then not showing you it's important to me that you guys understand both. So we have a lot more analysis to do. We're going to dive right back on into it. And the first thing I have to show you is this. At the moment, I love where Bitcoin is. I just want to preface that. I love where Bitcoin is. I think we're breaking out. We're doing great. But it cannot be denied that there is some bearish RSI divergence showing up on the chart right now. We have a downtrend on the RSI. I'll just go ahead and make this a little bigger. We have a downtrend on the RSI tops and an uptrend on the RSI on the price action tops. That basically tells us that the market right now has a lot of bearish pressure on like a monthly time scale. I'm not talking time frame, but like if you look at like the last month, there is a little bit of bearish pressure. Basically what needs to happen here is Bitcoin needs to undergo a much bigger rally, push the RSI back up here above 78, and then we'll invalidate that. But at the moment, it cannot be overstated how powerful that RSI divergence is. It's one of the most powerful technical indicators that I ever see. Now, looking up here at the daily chart price action, we can also see at the moment, Bitcoin is putting in, this isn't a spinning top, but it's almost a shooting star. So there are two types of candlesticks that you can look at that show up at the top. You can either see a spinning top, which looks like this. You have a body, maybe the body looks like this, but then you have an equally sized upper candlestick as you do a lower candlestick. This is called a spinning top. But you can also find a candlestick that looks a little bit like this, where it has a body and a nice long upper wick. Right now, the candlestick that we're printing is somewhere in between a spinning top and a shooting star. Neither one of those candlesticks are particularly bullish. I'm going to go ahead and call this a shooting star, even though it's technically not. A shooting star wouldn't have this lower wick down here. But in general, what we're looking at is that there's a long upper shadow right here from about... By the way, wick and shadow are interchangeable terms. There's a long upper wick here from 67,600, where we are right now, all the way up to 68,500, which we hit earlier this morning around like 2 o'clock in the morning or somewhere around there. This basically means that the bulls kind of like shot up and the bear said, no, actually, you're not going to go all the way there. It basically means that the bulls tried and failed. That's not really what you want to see happen. You don't want to see your team try and, make a big play and then they just get kind of wrecked. They might be on a winning streak, but, you just don't want to see them get wrecked in any way, shape, or form. That's kind of what we saw. I'm much happier with this candlestick that formed yesterday. Just a straight green candlestick, not even hardly any wicks, just a solid movement to the upside. I want to see Bitcoin close today up around $68,000, $68,500. If it doesn't, that long upper shadow does cause us reason to be concerned. It could mean that the market is topping out. You will see that happen all the time when the market tops out. I'll just give you some examples. You can take a look over here at, for example, our previous all-time high. We had this spinning top that formed up here. Nice long upper shadow indicated the bulls rallied, and then that was the very top. It's kind of a V-top. You don't want to see that. It's not very good. Nevertheless, if we move on here down to the 4-hourly chart, and take a look at our MACD, we can see that the MACD is also rounding. This basically tells us that the MACD is running out of steam on the 4-hourly chart and that we could see a bearish cross. I'm not concerned about it. If we do see a bearish cross, then it's probably going to look something like this. It's kind of saddle shape where we have a double top up here. Almost looks like, what's that guy's name from SpongeBob, the dude with the like the purple ears? I forget what they're called. What? Not Squidward. Squidward. Who just said Squidward? Not Squidward. T-Shroom? No. What was the superhero? He's like a Batman knockoff.
Barnacle Boy.
What Barnacle Boy?
Was the
Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man. It almost looks like Mermaid Man. Yeah, it looks like, for all of my Gen Zers out there that grew up with SpongeBob like I did, I can't believe you said Squidward. But anyway, it kind of looks like that. If we see a correction, then that might be the case. But here's the thing. Bitcoin correcting is actually a good thing. I'd like to see it drop here in between $66,000 and $67,000, bounce and rally. I would not be opposed to that whatsoever. I would be completely fine with that. Now, moving on down here to the hourly chart, and then we're going to take a look at Lux Algo. We can see that there has been a bearish MACD cross, and if we look at our RSI, you can see that there is even more severe RSI divergence. You can see it right here. There are lower highs here on the RSI, higher highs on the price action. It does indicate that over the next, 8 to 12 hours anyway, we could see a correction. And if we do, it would likely push us down here into this control zone between 66 and 67,000. Excuse me, support zone between 66 and 67,000. We'll probably hold it and bounce. I'm not worried about it, but I just want you guys to know that if you see a correction down as low as 66K, it's not something that you should be concerned about. Our TA predicts it, and we're going to be okay if that happens. What I am interested in is seeing how this candlestick closes, because even in just the last 2 minutes, we've seen a bit of a drop on Bitcoin from 66,000 down $500. There's a lot of volatility in this space. We're not sure that the market's going to have a massive blast off, so don't, get overly excited about a big rally before it has officially come. So let's go ahead and take a look at Lux Algo. This is where our first number, $78,000, is coming from. We talked about Lux Algo yesterday out here on the daily chart, had a very interesting update, and that is that we saw a strong buy signal. Guys, these buy and sell signals on Lux Algo are amazing, but as I always tell you, don't overly rely on them. You want to make sure that you're combining these strong buy and sell signals with the rest of your analysis. And by the way, guys, today's show is brought to you by Lux Algo. This is a premium indicator that is worth every single penny. Drop a 1 in chat if you've gotten Lux Algo and you're loving it. If you use coupon code Jebb, J-E-B-B, at checkout, you will get 20% off. Nevertheless, let's take a look at what the indicator says. Strong buy signals typically mean, well, if you're in a trend, you're going to go to the upside quite a bit. We saw a strong sell signal over here that was pretty solid. But, of course, sometimes you're going to get these strong sell signals towards the end of the market. As we can see right here, how do you weed those out? Well, the strategy that I use is I look at this line right here. It's called the trend catcher. Then I look at the strong buy and sell signals, and then I'll also look down here at Lux Oscillator. You can see it right here. I've talked about that strategy many times. I'm not going to go into more detail on it in this video. I literally talk about it every single day, so I'm going to spare you. But the point is, right now, Bitcoin is pretty strongly bullish. We already saw 2 of the 3 confirmations, and then yesterday we saw the 3rd confirmation, which was our strong buy signal. Bitcoin bounced and rallied above the trend catcher, which is this kind of sharply moving line right there. But where we're getting $78,000 from is the very bottom of the reversal zones on Lux Algo. You can see these reversal zones are very powerful. When Bitcoin punches into them, we generally are going to, reverse in them. They are very, very helpful for finding bottoms. These reversal zones are some of the best indicators in the entire Lux Algo premium package. And right now, the bottom of the reversal zone, which as you can see, just looking at the history here, we normally rally to. I mean, we rallied to it here, we rallied to it here, we rallied to it here, we rallied to it here. This is not a reversal zone that Bitcoin never touches. It is something that Bitcoin actually almost always touches during an uptrend. Right now, the bottom of the reversal zone on Bitcoin is sitting at, you guessed it, $78,000. So you can actually use these reversal zones as kind of a price target. If Bitcoin does what it normally does and rallies all the way up to the reversal zone, then we should be seeing a price target of $78,000. We could even go as high as $86,000. And then that's not even talking about the fact that PlanB is predicting, and I'll draw a kind of a matrix here to show you. PlanB, the pseudonymous creator of the stock to flow model, is predicting this price target right here in space and time, a $93,000 price target by the end of the month. So based on both of these, we could see Bitcoin do something like this and move all the way up to $93,000 by the end of the month. Is this going to happen? We're going to discuss that more, but I want to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. Pretty much what you need to know on the daily chart is that we're very bullish. We are very far above the EQ cloud. The EQ cloud is continuing to widen. The reversal zones are coming up as support down here at 42,000. Everything looks hunky-dory right now on the daily chart. But looking down to the 4-hourly chart, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. Bitcoin, instead of being super far away from the reversal zones, is actually deep in the reversal zones. Similarly to how RSI is overly simplified as being a reversal zone indicator, this reversal zone can be also. The thing you need to look at here on the reversal zones is not just, hey, has the market penetrated into it? That means we're going to have a correction. Also, take notice of how far you get into the reversal zone. Right here, we almost got outside of the reversal zone on the 4-hourly chart. We have a strong buy signal. We see the trend catcher is green. We can see down here on the Lux Oscillator that it reversed right here. There were many reasons to believe that we were going to blast off here based on Lux Algo's indicators. But the fact that we got this deep into the reversal zone tells us two things. Number one, we need to consolidate here on the 4-hourly chart, which is what our analysis earlier was telling us. Pulling back to 66 to 67K is not a bad thing. It's actually very needed and healthy. But two, it also tells us that the market is very bullish. How do we know that? Well, getting that deep into the reversal zone is not easy. It requires a lot of strength. So yes, we need to see a small correction, but the mere fact that we got there in the first place means that the market is very, very bullish. Now, looking down to the hourly chart, we're seeing something similar. You can see that we got pretty deep into the reversal zones. In fact, we blasted outside of them. This right here, getting outside the reversal zones, is actually extremely rare. And whenever it does happen, it's a signal that the bulls are very much in charge. And right now, on the hourly chart, we just saw a counter indicator to what we're seeing on the 4-hourly chart and the daily chart, and it backs up what I'm saying. We just saw a sell signal. Now, we have not seen trend catcher change color. We have seen a red dot on Lux Oscillator. This is telling us, hey, we're moving into a downtrend. We have seen a sell signal, but trend catcher has not turned red. What does that mean? It means that this is not a massive correction that we should be expecting. It means that we should be expecting a small retracement, some consolidation. This sell signal is a counter indicator to the uptrend, so don't expect it to go very long. I mean, you can see these strong buy signals, when they happen, because you're an uptrend, they last a long time. These sell signals do not last very long. That's just because, you know, the trend is your friend until it ends. You've heard that a million times. Right now, we are probably going to see a little bit of correction over the next 12 hours. It's not something that we should be worried about. Tim, as we move into our intermission, I want to first ask you a question. Do you agree that we could be seeing a correction down to $66,000 to $67,000 and then a rally? What do you think the next couple of days are going to look like?
So, you know, there's a lot of things that could happen, and this is one of the unknowns of when you hit a new all-time high, is that there's a lot less data to track and to predict what is happening. However, I just want to state, and I've said this on the show before, and bear with me on this, but the last two times, and we have two things to look at. The last two times that we have retested previous all-time highs, and I'm not saying the numbers will do exactly what these do, but when we retested the all-time high that we set back in December of 13, we retested it again in March of 17. We broke through it. We came back down below it, and then we rallied 141% higher than the previous all-time high before we had any type of firm correction or retracement. You can now move up. We set a new all-time high in December of 17. We retested it, slightly broke it November of 20. Then we came back down, and then we rallied 115% before we had another major correction. Now, things have changed. I do not think that there's enough money to flow in for us to see 115% rally before a correction. That being said, though, I think that there is a very good potential shot that we rally over the next couple of weeks 50% at least. And I think 50% would put us somewhere closer to, if we outpace all-time high, about
100.
Yeah, like
90,
and what did PlanB say?
90. He said 98,000.
You guys, I'm looking at that stuff and I'm like, could something change? Absolutely. But historically, when you look back at when we have broken and tested previous all-time highs, we drop down below them, the next rally rallies us massively.
Yeah.
I think that there's actually a good chance that we don't even have, now we might retrace 1%, 2%, 3%, but back down to, did you say 66?
66 potentially.
I think it'd be like literally if we retrace down to 66, we touch that
spring
with a wick
bounce.
and then spring and we just keep going.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
Yep.
Totally agree with you. All right, cool.
We're going to super chats though, so we have some good ones. The first one I'm going to read, just so I'm sure there's a lot of people wondering about this, but DB said, "Can we check out some 88 TA when time allows?"
We are going to be getting
Absolutely.
an 88 today.
We're
going to be dedicating some time to that. Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's see here.
By the way, guys, hit those likes. We got 3,600 people watching. I know we can get to 1,500 likes. It helps to push us in the algorithm if you would like to share this content.
Kuma Kennedy, because Kuma Kennedy donated before and didn't have a comment, so I think it was a mistake, because he chatted again and said, "What do you think of the similarities in the market between now and November of 2017 for Bitcoin?" Actually, I just talked about that. Yeah.
Well, no, you said September. That's different.
I said no. Okay, let me look. Let me look at what I just said.
What I answered earlier was that we look kind of similar to.
Oh, I said December. You're right. You're right.
No, you said September.
I said December of 17.
You said September, and I assumed you were talking about this year.
Okay, I
don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to weigh in and say he said December.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because December of 17 is when we set a new all-time high.
Okay. Well, I don't know, but either way, I think that we are in a much different market than December of 2017. Way different market than December of 2017. I don't think there's a lot of comparison there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because if you're comparing those, you would say that we're hitting a new all-time high. No, yeah. But my comment about December 17 is that was an all-time high that we hit, and what I was comparing us to is more not December of 17. I was comparing us to December of 20, where we retested that all-time high of 2017 and rallied. So yeah, I agree with your comment. I think okay, that was a good question. It made me have to go look and think about what I was saying. Keep moving on. Let's see. Did we miss any T-Shroom?
Well, there's an important question here from Joe Bollier. He said, "What do the turtles think?"
Guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you'd see that I posted like 2 weeks ago. My prediction for November is by November 25th. I think we're hitting 90K. Ooh. So I still stand by it. So we'll see if let's see if that is true.
That'll be a good present. By the way, guys, really cool announcement. We are only 7 days away from the 4th birthday of this channel.
Woo!
That's pretty crazy. 4 years. I just realized this morning on the drive to work that I graduated high school 3.5 years ago now, and I feel very old. I know I'm 21. I know a lot of you guys are going to make fun of me in the comments like, oh, Jebb, wait till you're 50. I feel like I graduated high school like yesterday, and it's been 3.5 years. I don't know where the years are going, but they are fun, and we're having a great time here in Bitcoin. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, let's take a look here at Bitcoin for just a second. Then we're going to dive into our altcoin TA. The reason we're looking at Bitcoin is because I am aware that Bitcoin is dropping. This is what we just said over the last 10 minutes. Expect a drop. So Bitcoin is right now down $1,000 in 30 minutes. We're sitting at $67,000, and we're pushing down here into this control zone around 66 to 67K. This is what I was talking about. I don't think that we should be concerned about this. Bitcoin has support at 66,000. And by the way, if 66,000 doesn't hold, guys, there's also this uptrend at 65.
The other
I'm not worried about it.
The other thing to look at is, that would be looking at 4-hourly candles and hourly candles and 30-minute candles.
Yeah.
I guarantee you when we look back here in a couple of weeks at the daily chart, you're going to see a lot of green candles. Maybe there's some low wicks, but you're going to see a lot of green candles, which means we're constantly closing days higher than the day before.
Yep. Don't think there's anything to be worried about here, guys. I did just want to address that because I know you guys are saying it in chat. This is what I was talking about Bitcoin looking like it's putting a shooting star in here. We do have that bullish R side or bearish R side divergence. That's why we show you both sides of the story. I want you to be able to walk away with a fully informed point of view. But with that said, let's go ahead and look at Ethereum, because Ethereum is the chart that we are going to take a look at. If we look here on Ethereum, there are a few things that I want to talk about. What we're going to do is something called 2-minute technicals. This is the segment where I look at a chart for all of about 2 minutes, and I try and run through it as quickly as possible, get you kind of a bite-sized view of what's going on. We talked about Ethereum yesterday. We're going to talk about it again, and I'm going to show you a couple new things. Let's go ahead and start. Taking a look here on the daily chart on Ethereum, you can see that we're currently in a massive rising wedge. We talked about yesterday how Ethereum could potentially go all the way to $5,000 before this rising wedge breaks to the downside, but it probably is going to break to the downside. Once it does that, there are two levels of support that I can see it going towards. It could either pull back down to $4,500 or $4,450 really, or it could pull down here to $4,000, and we could bounce and rally from there. I think that Ethereum is likely going to have a bearish breakout of this rising wedge at some point towards the middle part or the second half of this month. I don't think it's going to happen yet, but if we look down here to the hourly chart, you can see that we're actually breaking above this uptrending level of support, this uptrending level of resistance, which is actually a very good sign. It means that the bulls are very much in charge here, but as Bitcoin is having a pretty substantial drop right now, expect Ethereum to see something similar. Ethereum could, in the short term, I'm talking in the next 2 days, pull all the way down to $4,600, which is the uptrending level of support on this rising wedge. If we take a look back here at the daily chart, I just want to show you a couple of the other technical indicators right here, and one of the most important ones is that there is massive bearish RSI divergence on Ethereum here. We have an uptrending level of resistance on price action, downtrending level of resistance on RSI. This is very similar to what we saw on Bitcoin, guys. This basically tells us, hey, yeah, Ethereum's bullish, but it's kind of also got bearish RSI divergence, and as always, there is going to be a bullish side and a bearish side. Right now, Ethereum does indeed have a bearish side, but taking a look at Lux Algo here, you're going to get a little bit of encouragement. We are actually sitting in a strong buy signal. Trend catcher's bullish. EQ cloud is widening. That is a bullish sign. And we're sitting right below the reversal zone. This basically tells us that we're in an uptrend. We're ascending, but we're not so fastly moving to the upside that we need to be worried about it. This is pretty healthy, what we're seeing right here. And even looking down here to the Bollinger Band, not the Bollinger Bands, excuse me, Looking down here to the Lux oscillator, you can see that we are seeing a little bit of bullish divergence, a little bit of bullish movement here, even though we saw a red dot saying that we might be overextended on the same day that we saw a take profit. The Lux oscillator and the rest of the Lux Algo premium package is pretty much telling us, yeah, we're okay. We might need a small correction, maybe $100, but for the most part, we're doing good. Looking down to the 4-hourly chart, we can take a look at some of our other signals, and they are giving us a much more clear sell picture. Taking a look here at Lux Algo, you can see that Lux Algo oscillator has hit a top over the last 3 candlesticks, and we've also seen trend catcher turn red right here. Like this is the kind of thing I want to look for in Lux Algo. This is why I take a look at this. This is what I had an inkling was going on 30 seconds ago, but now that I'm looking at 4-hourly chart Lux Algo, I'm getting a much clearer picture. Okay, I'm feeling like, all right, we might need to have a little correction down here to 4,600, but then I take a look at Lux Algo and I say, okay, we saw an X right here. That's a take profit. That basically says, yeah, you're in a long, you might want to go ahead and take profit. Ethereum moved just a little further to the upside, but pretty much that's where it topped out. We saw trend catcher change color, and we've seen Lux oscillator reverse. What does that tell us? That tells us that the end of this short-term uptrend might be soon. And if that occurs, then we'd probably have a correction down to the EQ cloud. Guess where the EQ cloud is? It's sitting right on that uptrend that I just showed you. So that's what our analysis is saying. Looking down to the hourly chart, I have a feeling we have a sell signal here. I don't know, but let's see. Haven't pre-analyzed this with Lux Algo. Haven't seen a sell signal yet. In fact, funnily enough, the trend catcher is green down here, but it is pretty much showing just on the price action, not even looking at Lux Algo, we can pretty much see that the market is kind of rounding, and that indicates to us that we're slowly losing a little bit of that bullish momentum, and that might be coming from the anemia that we're seeing over on Bitcoin right now. So pretty much what I'm seeing on Ethereum is that Ethereum is very bullish, yes, and it probably is going to rally all the way up to $5,000 before it has this bigger correction over the rest of this month. This is probably going to take weeks to play out, guys. Just want you to know that's not a today thing. But even just today, tomorrow, and the next day, we could see a small correction down to around 4,600. There is potential that Ethereum ignores all of that and just absolutely moonshots. That's not what the analysis is telling us. That's not what's most likely. If it happens, then that was the least likely of the scenarios. I think that a correction over the next 2 days down to around $4,600 is likely. Then we'll probably bounce and rally all the way up to 5K. Then we'll probably see a bigger correction down to either 44 or 4,000 before then having a major blast off up towards, all-time high above 5K. So that's pretty much what I think is going to happen on Ethereum. Tim, what do you think about that?
Well, you got a text from Kelly saying that there's a blood diamond on the 1 hour on Market Cipher on Ether. So I don't know if you want to go look at that.
Yeah, sure. Let's look at that. I have to grab the other part of Market Cipher here.
While you're doing that, I just think it's interesting as I'm looking at my Ethereum TA. I loved what you even just drew right there. I don't know how you described it to him necessarily, but there's like a short-term ascending wedge that I think that we're going to ride pretty well and break bearish out of it. And then we have a bigger ascending wedge that's going to take us a little higher. But the good news is pumpamentals still play a part in this. I think that we're in a season right now where all of these cryptocurrencies are being pumped. So when we do have these bearish breaks, I don't think they're going to be as severe as necessarily if you didn't really know what was happening, you could think would happen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to people. Like what I'm trying to say is traditionally in TA, you would read an ascending wedge and say, all right, well, we're going to come down to this level. We know we're going to break bearish, but I think that we're not going to break anywhere near as bearish as we think we will.
Yeah.
It will be a very slight.
Exactly, and that's what it is, guys. We're looking at a correction during a major uptrend. That's just the way that works. It's nothing to be worried about. With that said, let's go ahead and look at probably the crowd favorite today. Drop a 1 in chat if you are excited, and also drop a hashtag AdaGang if you are a part of the Ada Gang, because we need to take a look at Cardano. This is our new altcoin segment. We're going to kind of run down 3 altcoins. We've just looked at Ethereum. We're going to look at Cardano. Then we're going to look at Elrond, otherwise known as EGLD. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Cardano. Cardano has been in a major period of decline ever since the beginning of September, and in doing so, it's lost a lot of its volatility. Just looking out here to the weekly chart, you can see that it's been stagnating, but the good news is it has come down and tested a very important level, which is the 20 moving average on the weekly chart. This is very important. It means that Cardano has probably found its bottom, and we've even seen a pretty strong reversal here over the last 3 weeks. I'm pretty happy about the way that we're looking. Even looking here at the TD sequential, you can see that we got all the way down to 8 on the weekly chart. We didn't hit a 9, but we got down to 8. That indicates that we're probably done with this correction. We've been saying for the last week or two Look, guys, Cardano is probably getting close to the end of this. I didn't personally think that it was going to break below this uptrending level of support. I was thinking it was going to bounce, and it looks like that's what's happening. Some of this bullishness from Bitcoin is spilling over into the Cardano market. Taking a look here at Lux Algo, this is going to be really interesting for you guys. I know you're going to love this. There has been a strong buy signal on Cardano, but pause. Remember, the strategy that I follow, now you can follow whatever strategy you want, but the strategy that I follow is I look for three things. I look for the trend catcher, as you can see right here, and by the way, you can turn trend catcher on by going into settings. It is right here. It's this right here. Turn that on. I look for trend catcher to turn green, a strong buy signal, and then also for the Lux oscillator to reverse. We've seen an uptrend on Lux oscillator that started about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago. That was our early warning sign that we might be about to see a big movement on Cardano. We talked about that. We're very excited about that. Now we're seeing a strong buy signal on Cardano. That is our second confirmation. Now we want to see the trend catcher reverse and turn green. If we see that, then quite frankly, that's pretty much as good as Lux Algo saying we're going to at least $3. That's pretty much what that is. We would be very excited to see that. It hasn't happened yet, but the good news here on the daily chart is also that we're in the process of breaking through the reverse, the EQ cloud, which for the last several weeks has been acting as resistance. We've pretty much broken straight through that in the span of a day. So that's a very good thing. We are seeing a lot of bullish exuberance come back into Cardano. This could be the start of something big, but it's just begun. So don't get your hopes up. We got to let it prove itself. We don't want to, go crazy before it's actually begun. Now, the thing I need to keep in mind here, and that you need to keep in mind here, is that the volume moving average down here has been declining quite a bit. I want to see this volume moving average come up. The low volume on Cardano is concerning because it shows that the market is kind of anemic. We don't want that. We want the market to be nice and healthy and, ready to move into the future. We've seen some good volume today, but the one candlestick is not enough for me to really be confident on this market. And by the way, another thing that I'm concerned about is the fact that down here on the 4-hourly chart, we have seen Cardano massively overshoot the 9 flash on the TD sequential. We saw a 9 flash right here. We've absolutely incredibly passed it. This is telling us two things. Number one, Cardano's stupidly bullish, obviously, or it wouldn't have managed to rally this quickly. But two, Cardano needs a short-term correction. Not a big one, but it does need something. The thing that I'm very excited about down here on the 4-hourly chart is that we've seen a lot of volume come in. It's a good sign, but we just need to see a little bit more time before we can get super excited about this. And the same thing is said down here on the hourly chart, guys. We are so incredibly overextended on TD sequential. It's just absolutely ridiculous. When you see this, yeah, it does mean that you need a small correction, sure, whatever. But really the point here of reading TD sequential, don't just read an indicator and just read it the same way every time. You need to make sure you're applying your own trading wisdom to it. When I see something like this where the market just ignores the TD sequential for this long and we're not fundamentally overvalued, I mean, we're not at like $20 where we'd be massively overvalued. We're only sitting at 230. This is telling me, hey, something big is starting. And all of this increased volume is telling me the same thing. Ever since yesterday, we've been looking pretty.
Even for me, as I've gotten better at TD sequential, because I really do like it, it really to me is a helping, confirming indicator when I'm seeing other bearish things. Like if I'm not liking what the MACD looks like, if I'm not liking what RSI is looking like, if I'm not liking where we are with the Bollinger Bands, and then I see a red 9 or you'll see a green 9, but we call it a red 9 because it means a reversal is coming. That's to me when I'm like, okay, that's significant. For right now, again, I think we see all these red 9s, they're green, but we see these 9s. But it's because Cardano's been suppressed so long. Remember, this is simply math. It's just math trying to do its job. It doesn't understand the emotions, the feelings, the suppression that's gone on. It's just doing a math equation for you. So I'm not reading too highly into those.
Exactly. It's actually a very bullish thing. It's the thing. It's why wisdom is so important and why the human touch is so important, because it's the same thing with RSI. If RSI jumps up to 90, that can either mean, dude, we're so freaking overextended and we're about to crash, or it can mean, man, the bulls are super confident right now. We're about to moonshot. Those are completely antipodal to each other. They are They are completely opposite of one another, to put it simply. And it is your job and my job as traders and analysts to figure out what it's trying to tell us. That's why I want you guys to be able to do analysis, because I'm not always going to be there to hold your hand and say, hey, look, yeah, we're overextended on TD sequential, but it doesn't actually mean something bad. It actually means something good because it signals the bulls are strong right now. That's why we try and teach you guys this stuff. That's why CT2A exists. You can find that down below. But guys, let's go ahead and move on to EGLD. We got 4,000 people watching. We got 1,400 likes. We just passed it. Let's see if we can't get up to 1,700 likes. And by the way, guys, we are likely going to be hitting 200K subs. If not today, probably tomorrow. So thank you guys so very much. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. We are trying to bring you the highest quality educational, informational content that we can every single day, because it is our dream for you to become financially free through working in cryptocurrency markets. If we can see that happen for you, then we have succeeded in what we set out to do. With that said, let's go ahead and look at EGLD. I know you guys have been asking about this for literally months, and this is going to be one of the first times that we ever analyze it here on the channel. This is Elrond. Elrond is another layer 1 protocol and layer 1 solution. It has an updated way of working with proof of stake. I'm not going to go into all of the way that it works right now. I think it's ranked number 35, somewhere around there on CoinMarketCap. It's got a limited supply, so it's trying to become a scarce commodity, scarce asset, so that you're able to invest in it and it holds its value long term. It is another one of the layer 1 solutions competing for the decentralized finance and decentralized application ecosystem. But let's go ahead and take a look at the technicals, because I know that's what you guys are mostly interested in. The technicals on Elrond look as follows. The very first thing that jumps out to me looking at the daily chart is that we are in one of the largest ascending wedges that I have ever seen in my entire career working in cryptocurrency. I've been working in cryptocurrency doing analysis for almost 5 years now. I've never seen a an ascending wedge quite that big. I might have, I just can't remember the last time I did. What this is telling us, and frankly it's so big that I think it's kind of invalid, but I just want to show it to you anyway, is basically telling us, hey, EGLD probably needs to have a giant drop. Probably not going to follow this. This is where the wisdom comes in, guys, and where the experience comes in. When you see a pattern this big with such a crazy price target as like $60 on Elrond, that's when you got to ask yourself, okay, is that realistic? Is that what the fundamentals say? No? Okay, then I'm going to kind of discredit that. But I did just want to show you that because a lot of you guys might see that on your analysis and you might think, gee whiz, I wonder if that actually means that we're going to have to see a giant crash. I don't think so. But the thing that you do need to take into account is this uptrending level of resistance. That is absolutely important. And you also do need to take into account this uptrending level of support because it's important also. The pattern is what I'm saying is probably not going to come to pass, but both of these uptrends are very critical because if Elrond breaks this uptrending level of resistance, that signals, hey, this thing might be about to go parabolic. If we break this support, then that means, hey, we could drop a lot, maybe like 20, 30, 40%. These trend lines are very important. I just think that the price target that this ascending wedge would normally have is not going to come into play all that much. Now, taking a look at some of our signals here. I'm first going to look at Lux Algo. Lux Algo is what I like to start with on a lot of these indicators. First thing I'm seeing, this is literally fresh TA. I have not pre-analyzed this. The whole point of me doing this is I want to show you guys what it looks like when I'm doing technical analysis on a project for the first time. So I have not pre-analyzed this. I'm going into this blind. The first thing I like to look at is Lux Algo. Take a look at this. We saw trend catcher turn green. The next candlestick, we saw a strong buy signal, and we also saw a candlestick after that. We saw movement to the upside on Lux Oscillator. If you follow the strategy that I use, then you would have seen a 20% increase in just the last 14 days on Elrond by using Lux Algo. But what Lux Algo is also telling us is over the last 2 days, we have seen a topping out forming on Lux Algo, on Lux Oscillator. So if we see a sell signal or we see trend catcher move to the downside and turn red, then that could mean that we're starting to see a top. Right now, that has not occurred, so I'm not worried about topping out. What I am seeing is that we're seeing a lot of the volatility in this space leave. We can see through not only the reversal zones, but also through Bollinger Bands that in general, let's look at the Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart. Actually, let's look at Bollinger Bands on maybe like the 2-day chart. We can see that 3-day chart. Let's see. Yeah, on the 3-day chart, you could see, this is perfect. This is what I was trying to show you. So on the 3-day chart, you can see that we were seeing a lot of constriction happening on the Bollinger Bands. They're starting to widen again as the market has been doing pretty well. But in general, we're seeing some of the volatility kind of fall off. This is also another area where you need to look at the normal chart, the linear chart. Right now, we're on a big tear, but we'll see how long that lasts. In general, even looking out here to the 3-day chart, you can see the Lux Algo is very bullish. We're obviously in a big uptrend. Where we're going to stop, I don't know. It's going to come down to our fundamentals, but I think what you're going to see happen on Elrond over the next several weeks is that we're going to continue testing and probably respecting this uptrending level of resistance. We're probably going to keep knocking our head on it as we go, and Elrond is probably going to eventually break above that because it's not a very steep uptrend, and Elrond has grown a lot in the last year, ever since February when it first hit up here at 200. I think that we are going to see it break this resistance level, but I don't know quite when it's going to happen. I think a lot of the growth on Elrond is going to come down to its fundamental development, which I personally think is pretty strong based on everything that I've seen. Even looking at the volume, you can see the volume is tapered off, but the volume is attempting to have a little bit of a rally over the last couple of days. So in general, I'm pretty bullish on Elrond in the long term. That's what the analysis is telling me. But I think the fundamentals are likely going to be what drives it to its next major levels. With that said, Tim, do you have any final thoughts on any of those altcoins before we move on to our news?
What I'm doing, just, I'm going alongside of you and doing my own TA. You know, you're right. That is a massive ascending wedge. You know,
Yeah.
there's some smaller ones. It's actually pretty cool. You have a massive one. I went out to the weekly chart, and even still, it was massive on the weekly chart.
Yeah, it's huge.
So you probably could
it's
have
a
on the
year
monthly
long.
chart.
It's a year long.
You know, as you go down, you can find them on the daily as well. Something I was looking at is I saw an RSI bearish divergence on the daily, on the 12-hourly, on the 8-hourly,
Yeah.
on the 4-hourly.
I had a feeling that was
But
there. That makes
I
sense.
also had this feeling. I'm like, I don't think it's going to be like a 30% dip. I think it's going to correct 10% at the most. Then it's going to continue to rally because it's still relatively fresh in those ascending wedges. Which, while we know ascending wedges eventually break bearish, while you're in it and you're moving in it, it's a bullish movement. So
Yeah.
I don't know if this would, to me, scream buy right now.
It doesn't scream
But it
buy to
also
me.
doesn't
That's a good
scream
point.
sell either.
Yeah, it
So
kind of
if you're in
screams.
it, good for you.
Pretty much what it's screaming to me is, hey, if you're already an Elrond, be happy. Maybe wait for a better buying opportunity. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on to some news and on-chain metrics. And then we're going to keep moving here. The very first thing I want to show you is a tweet from Kelly Kellum. He has compiled 4 different on-chain metrics. I'm going to run through these really, really quickly. But basically what all 4 of these do is they give you some kind of idea of whether or not Bitcoin is overextended. The very first one is called the SOPR, Spent Output Profit Ratio. I can't dive too much into this right now, but just take a look at these red lines up here. See how high they get when we're in a big uptrend, when we're close to a major all-time high. We're very low right now. It doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It means that we're moving in the right direction. It's basically telling us, hey, the market has not even gotten started with this big rally. Even as Kelly says over here, if I close this, you can see the tweet. With all the incredible bullish movement on Bitcoin recently, when and where is the top? The price may feel incredibly high, but this is a non-routed emotional feeling. What do on-chain metrics show us? These metrics below all screen plenty of upside action yet to come. The second one's called Pi Cycle Top Indicator. You guys are always asking about this. You can see the calculation up here. It's basically saying, hey, look, this top line right here, that is sitting up here close to $100,000, and you can just see based on history, we generally overshoot that. If we do overshoot that, Bitcoin would be on its way to $150,000 or $200,000. That's what Pi Cycle Top is telling us right now. Take a look here over here at the Rupal. This is one of my favorite on-chain metrics. Relative. It's my southern drawl coming out, I guess. Relative unrealized profit loss. You can see the different zones that this sits in, either capitulation, hope and fear, optimism, denial, greed, or euphoria. Right now, we're in optimism or / denial. Optimism on the uptrend, denial on the downtrend. We're on an uptrend right now, so we're sitting in this kind of optimism region. What does this mean? It means that we have just begun. It means that we've just started. We're barely even into the greed. You can see previous all-time highs over here on the Rupal. We generally get just a little bit up here into that euphoria segment. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. That's kind of what we see happen. We just barely push up there. We're not even close yet. Not even close. We're barely in greed. Actually, in fact, we're not even in greed yet. It means that we're going to see a lot of movement to the upside is what this is predicting. Now, taking a look over here at the MVRVZ score. Again, if you want to know how it's calculated, it's represented up here. I'm not going to go into it. It doesn't matter. But the point is, you can see the historical price action, the historical action. Whenever this whenever this jumps up here into this red zone up here, in between about 7.5 and 9.5, you can see that's normally when we hit all-time high. We hit an all-time high over here in 2013. Boom, we jumped way up there. Late 2013, boom, jumped up there. 2017, boom, jumped up there. Even when we hit $65,000 earlier this year, look at how close we got. We almost got to that red zone. Look at where we are right now. We're nowhere. We're not even close. Like, not even freaking close. We have so much movement to go to the upside. MVRV score is giving us a lot of bullishness. Go follow Kelly Kellum on Twitter. He's about to hit 3,000 followers, as you can see. And by the way, I just hit 30,000 followers. Thank you guys for following me on Twitter. We're constantly posting up-to-the-minute updates on the TA over there. So make sure to go follow both of us over on Twitter. With that said, let's briefly run through a lot of these others. I'm going to kind of just run through some headlines here. I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on this. Drop a 1 in chat, followed by the name of the headline if you want to see any more content on each one of these. We can go into more of them in dedicated videos or something on social media maybe. Bitcoin reaches record high, but White House sets to ink new cryptocurrency tax. I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on this, but this has to do with the different tax bills that are going through. There are some new things going on with taxes. We do want to dive into more on this in the future, but right now we're running a little bit short on time, so I don't have a ton of time to go into this. If you would like, this is over on Verdict. You can type this into Google right here. This is a very important article. I wish I had more time to run through it, but I don't right now. Basically, we're seeing some more tax implications coming, and we're going to talk about that more in the future. Drop a 1 in chat if you'd like to see more posts on that on social media, for example. I can talk about it on Instagram or Twitter or something like that. Now, moving quickly over here New York to get its own crypto as the new mayor's battle with Miami takes shape. This is really interesting. The war of the city coins seems to be erupting. Eric Adams, the mayor-elect of New York City, is a breath of fresh air for the cryptocurrency community in the Big Apple and beyond. He's yet to officially take office, but he's already become one of the most popular figures in the industry. He has promised to make New York a Bitcoin hub and is advocating for blockchain education in schools. We talked about that yesterday. Pretty big deal. He also talked about receiving his salary in Bitcoin. NYC was fighting it out with Austin for the next city token, but Mayor Adams tipped the scale in his city's favor with his open advocacy for Bitcoin. Patrick Stanley, a CityCoins community lead, told Bloomberg, "We voted on what city should be next. The top two cities were New York and Austin. After Mayor Adams spoke last week, the community decided to activate New York." So it looks like we're going to be seeing another city coin coming online in New York City. Why is that a big deal? Because New York City is a top 25 national gross domestic product city. Like, if it were a nation, it would be in the top 25 most productive economies on the planet. That's why that's important. Absolutely huge. And then we have one final story over here. Actually, we have two final stories, but this one is something that I did want to just kind of read to you. Nothing is confirmed on this, but it is really interesting to hear about. We might see some more developments on this. Zimbabwe to follow El Salvador in using Bitcoin as legal tender. There are plans in place to potentially move in a similar direction than what we saw in El Salvador. Like I said, nothing is official right now. We can see right here, let's see here. There is a quote here that I wanted to read. The Zimbabwean government has now stated that it is considering the use of Bitcoin in making illegal payments. By doing so, it would be following the footsteps of El Salvador. This has not happened yet. Nothing is developed. This is just simply, I don't want to FOMO you guys, but this is interesting. We could see this occur in the next little while. The level of cryptocurrency adoption is high. Hence, this will allow the government to leverage this growth. And this will also increase cryptocurrency penetration in Africa, which we're seeing a lot of, especially having to do with Charles Hoskinson. Now, finally, there's one other headline over here I wanted to read to you. MasterCard teams up with 3 Asian cryptocurrencies to launch Bitcoin payment cards. MasterCard and Visa have capitulated and kowtowed to the future march of Bitcoin and crypto. They realize that if they don't get on board with cryptocurrency, that they're going to get left behind. And you can see here, MasterCard announced on Tuesday that it's joining hands with Hong Kong crypto finance firm Amber Group, Thailand's crypto exchange BitCub, and Australia's trading platform CoinJar. The partnership intends to introduce cryptocurrency-linked credit, debit, and prepaid cards for both individuals and businesses alike across Asia Pacific. So lots of massive developments going on in Bitcoin. Point is this: fundamentals growing, price action growing. On-chain says we're nowhere near the top. Where's Bitcoin going? 6 figures. That's my opinion. Let's move into our next intermission. I'm going to read some super chats and then we'll keep on moving here.
Yes.
And by the way, this is when the show would normally end. That's how much we've extended it. We still got another 20 minutes of content, guys. Hit that like button if you like the extended show.
We have one from X Vega saying, "I just want to say thank you to you all. I wrote a few weeks ago about my portfolio, and although I know it's not financial advice, I took what you guys said about the TA, and now I'm up $6,000. Thank you. I will be taking profits."
Let's go. Good for you, man.
Come on.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Just so you guys know,
that's what I live for, man.
We get emails about that quite frequently. People asking us. We will never.
We are not
give
brokers.
You guys financial advice.
We are not brokers or financial advisors.
This is actually a good segue moment. Thank you so much, X Vega, for bringing this up. If anyone reaches out to you pretending to be Crypto Jebb, saying that they want to give you financial advice, they want to trade for you, that is not us.
Just so you know, let me tell you a story, guys. So this is really interesting. She's probably watching. I just reunited with my half sister that I haven't seen in 16 years, named Jessie. And the way that we reunited, this really upset me. And I'm telling this story just to make sure that you guys understand how passionate I am about this. And we're trying to do something about this. She was reaching out to me. She got contacted by one of our scammers, and the scammer was pretending to be me and saying all kinds of crap like, "Oh, yeah, it sucked." My banker has gotten reached out to by scammers. My second cousin has gotten reached out to by scammers. Quite frankly, I'm surprised my dad hasn't gotten reached out to by scammers yet. You got to be careful with this, guys. If you post anything anywhere saying, "Hey, I follow Crypto Jebb," or you like a comment or something, they're going to find you. So just know that if you get a message on Instagram or you get a message on Twitter DMs or something, that's probably not us.
Yeah.
Support@cryptojebb.com. You can email us and we can confirm whether or not it's us. It is not hard for us to prove who we are. Those scammers will go in circles all day long trying to say, "Oh yeah, I'm really Crypto Jebb," but I can't prove it. We can prove it very easily with a Twitter post or anything. So don't get scammed. Please don't fall for that.
Especially on Twitter. We are working on getting verified on Twitter. Help us out. Who would they tweet at to help get you verified?
I have no idea. Do you know, Smay?
At Twitter support.
Yeah, we just
Is
need,
that
we need
it?
to get, we,
I don't know.
I do
At
want to get
Twitter.
verified soon.
we just need a lot of action because we need to be verified on Twitter, and we've tried twice now and not had success.
We just hit
We're
30K
trying
followers,
again,
so hopefully it'll happen soon.
Yep. All right, we'll keep moving on though. We got one from old Kelly Kellum saying almost at 200,000 also. So he's talking about our subs.
Hey.
Yeah, how close are we right now?
We've gained about 100 subs during the stream. We're at 199,424 right now.
So that's how many more? 100?
We are, let's see, quick maths. 576 away from all-time high, from 2,000. Looking forward to it, guys. Smash that.
Come on. That's awesome. If you guys want to be a part of that, consider hitting that subscribe button.
Yeah, man.
Be a part of the day that we hit 200,000. And we weren't 100% when it's happening. Just so you guys know, if it does happen today, we won't be ready for it, but we are going to this week celebrate that 200,000. So make sure you guys watch every single day. A lot of special stuff will happen this week.
Yes, we got some really cool stuff coming this week.
We have a $50 donation from Rick4962, or as we know him, Yard Dog. By the way, someone asked in chat yesterday, it was not Yard Dog out doing our
No,
yard
it was not
maintenance.
Yard Dog.
He would never do that during the show.
Yeah.
Because he loves us. But he just wanted to say thank you, everyone.
And well, no, he didn't. He said thank everyone.
Thank everyone.
He didn't say thank you.
Well,
He said
you're
thank
right.
everyone.
I
We got to
really-
read it correctly.
We had another one that just came in from Syndrome saying, at what point would you stop staking ADA and sell it instead?
Well, somebody actually just responded to him, and I think it's really good. Ryan Dunning said, depends on your goals, Syndrome. And if it really just, it depends. As always, I ask you guys two questions. Number one, what is your risk tolerance? Are you willing to hold that much money in cryptocurrency? If not, then consider, selling at profit. Never be, by the way, never be afraid to sell at profit. People all the time FOMO or FUD out of selling their profit. That can happen. If you're in profit, don't feel bad about selling if you're up 2x. Always hold a moon bag. I think that's very important. But don't feel bad about selling at profit. But number two, how long are you planning on being in the project? Do you want to be in Cardano for 5 or 10 years and see it build decentralized applications, just, take over the world? Or are you just trying to leverage or swing trade it? It really just depends on your perspective there.
Let's see. We had two that just came in. One from Bob, another $50 donation saying, you should do a monthly CT2A giveaway. Have that person, I don't think that's what he meant though. Have that person come on the show and show what they learned, like testimonials.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
about
something
coming on the show, but I mean, for sure. Drop in chat. Just what do you want them to put in chat if they've gone through CT2A?
Drop a 1 in chat.
Drop a 1 in chat. You can even comment really quickly, your productivity. But we had another one just coming from Crypto Vet.
Let's go, Vet. How you doing, man?
Been AFK, but back now. Missed y'all.
Missed you too, man.
Missed you all,
Guys, go
actually.
subscribe to Crypto Vet. He's another YouTuber here in the space. And by the way, we got some breaking news that you guys are talking about and that just showed up in my planning document. Tim Cook has just revealed that he owns Bitcoin, or excuse me, he has said that he owns cryptocurrency. I have this up right now. This literally was written 18 minutes ago. It just went up on the New York Times. Let's take a look at my screen. Tim Cook has invested in cryptocurrency personally, but Apple has no plans to do so. That's interesting. If you don't know who Tim Cook is, he is the successor to Steve Jobs as the CEO of Apple, which at the moment I believe is the second largest company on the planet behind Microsoft. Did T-Shroom just leave the room? Because I was going to ask him. He knows
No,
that.
T-Shroom's here.
T-Shroom's here?
So
oh, there you are.
Smay was not ready for the long show and had to take a break.
There you go. T-Shroom, isn't Apple number 2 right now behind Microsoft? I think it was.
That's correct.
That is correct.
That's
Good deal.
correct.
That's correct. By the way, give it up for T-Shroom. Thank you very much. Drop a +1 T-Shroom in chat for filling in for Smay. Smay had to dip really quickly. He's got some other work he's got to take care of. But really quickly here, just take a look at this. I'm literally reading this right now. However, Apple doesn't plan to buy any Bitcoin with its roughly $200 billion in cash. I like Tim Cook. I think he's, I don't know if he's telling the truth there, but we'll see. He said, let's see, what can we see here? He says, I'm literally reading this as we go. This came live while we were here. I don't see a direct quote from him. Well, allegedly, he says that he has personally invested in it. So that's interesting. If Tim Cook has personally invested in Bitcoin, if it ends up playing nice to him, then hopefully we shall see the rest of the market do the same thing. We got time for probably 2 more super chats before we move on to our discussion.
We have 2 more super chats.
Full screen.
To read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're
good.
Caught
Awesome.
up. Let us know in chat if you
That's
for
like
some reason gave
that's like the first time in a while we've been caught up on super chats. That's awesome.
I even there were some good questions here. Just I was answering something in person because I saw a lot of people asking for VeChain TA, for Litecoin TA. We did all that yesterday, did we not, Jebb?
What's that?
We did Litecoin and VeChain yesterday, right?
We didn't do Litecoin.
We didn't do Litecoin.
We didn't do Litecoin or
you
VeChain.
did because you said that Litecoin was your first.
Oh, I
Crypto.
mentioned it.
You
It wasn't
mentioned
in the lineup. So we
Oh.
mentioned it is what it was.
Well, do you want to do a very quick 1 to 2 minute TA on Litecoin?
I mean, I can, yeah.
What time we got?
I mean, we got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here at Litecoin. Oh my gosh, I see why they want Litecoin. Litecoin just
Yes.
freaking moonshot. Okay. Well, I said the other day that Litecoin had important resistance at 245 they needed to break through, and quite frankly, I didn't think it was going to, but it looks like it has. Well, let's see here on Litecoin. Litecoin just rallied 66 bucks. That's crazy. That's really interesting. Litecoin is up 33% in a day. It has rallied very far. Let's take a look over here at CoinMarketCap and see what that's done to its market capitalization. Jumped up about $3 billion, not bad. Here's the deal with Litecoin, guys. I can do analysis on this all day long if you'd like. Remember, the first cryptocurrency I ever bought was actually Litecoin. It's got a special place in my heart. One thing that I can show you here on the technicals is that we had bearish RSI divergence, and that has been invalidated. So good for you if you're if you're invested in Litecoin. But the thing that I want you to remember about Litecoin is that Litecoin was literally designed to be the silver to Bitcoin's gold. That narrative's kind of out the window now because there's so many other competitors. I think Litecoin is massively antiquated. Bitcoin obviously has some of the similar problems as Litecoin, but Bitcoin has a lot more development going on, has a lot more adoption, and it has the benefit of being the OG. Litecoin's the OG altcoin, yes, but there's not really anything that Litecoin does that other cryptocurrencies don't already do, and they don't already do better. So that's my problem with Litecoin. I personally don't invest in it anymore. I used to have big, huge bags in it. I had I think at one point I had over 100 Litecoin, but I don't anymore, and I don't really think it's a great project anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin himself, sold at the top in 2017. So, it kind of is what it is. Tim, do you have any opinion on Litecoin?
Well, I don't know a lot about the fundamentals the way you did
Full
it.
screen.
Obviously, when you did it for the first time. What I did a quick TA on it when I saw people say it, because a lot of times when I see comments, I just go and look at the charts real quick. Overwhelmingly, I think it's actually kind of bullish. What I did was...
It probably will go up. I'm not saying that.
I think it's an ascending wedge, but it's very early in an ascending wedge. And there's 3 different lines of resistance that I would use. I anchored one on the 16th of June, one on the 4th of June, and the other on the 27th of May. And I had them all converge right there on a point on the 6th of September. We just broke through both levels of resistance of if I had started the wedges back on the 5th of June or in May. So now I think for Litecoin, I want to see them break through, what is that? About 286. Otherwise, I think they are going to, I think it's going to bounce its head there and confirm that it's in an ascending wedge, but it's in early stages of it. So I potentially think Litecoin could have a nice little bull rally here over the next couple of weeks. But we shall see.
I got a really funny question for you, Tim. This is something that we prepared for the show, and I just read it for the first time.
Oh, no.
If Canada adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, would you consider moving there?
Oh, no. I mean, the snowboarding would be nice.
The snowboarding would be amazing. Tim and I love snowboarding, by the way.
For all the... I don't know. Here's the thing. I in circles, people give Canada a hard time. I will have to say, I think I prefer living in the U.S. to Canada, but I would prefer to live in Canada than lots of other places.
That's true.
You do kind of always have to count your blessings before you just talk about all the negative things. So, I don't think I would move just because of that, and I have no plans to move to Canada, but I guess I wouldn't kill myself.
What about you, Smay? Would you move to Canada? Would you move to Canada?
Yeah,
Probably shouldn't have said that on
No, probably not.
That's why I cut you off.
Yeah.
That's why I cut you off.
That was not a good thing to say on YouTube. But yeah,
We just love having our channel deleted.
I'd maybe move to Canada.
Why would you move to Canada, Smay?
Yeah.
Is it for the milk in a
question?
Is it for the milk in a bag up there? That's like the only selling point as far as I'm aware.
And
well, Vancouver's beautiful. I mean, all of Canada is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
I like Matty Matheson. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is. He's from Canada.
Well, there you go. I personally would never move to Canada because I love America and I am a born-again American. I love America. I was born in Tennessee, used to live in South Carolina. I've lived in Florida for 10 years.
We had a super chat that just came in from the Renaissance Man. Or he didn't just, but it's been here for a second. But he said, bought CT2A just today. Appreciate you guys so much.
Let's go.
Very professional and straightforward TA. Followed you guys for a while now. God bless. That's awesome. We have another one from Brandon.
Well, hang on. By the way, I just want to clarify something real quick. I absolutely love Canada as a nation. I don't want to lie. I don't want to bash Canada. Just don't take it that way.
We had a super chat from Brandon saying my super chat with a sad face. So I don't know if we miss his super chat.
Miss a super chat.
I asked him to comment it and tag
comment
me
it again.
I'm not seeing if he's done that just yet.
Crypto Jebb supposedly, TZ said, Crypto Jebb, supposedly you were snowboarding in Colorado last year, and you spoke to my buddy right off the lift.
Yes, we did.
We did? Who?
Whoa. Okay.
It wasn't last year. It was February of this year.
Well, I think that's what he's talking about. I talked to a guy. I had a long conversation with a guy about crypto. I told him he probably was actually talking to me. Like, I remember I had a long conversation. The guy was super. I can't remember his name though.
Was I with you? Was that the day I was sick?
I think it was the day you were sick.
It was the day I was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we snowboarded for 2 days. I got very sick and literally, yeah, Linus Tech Tips does live up there, Henrique, you're right. But yeah, no, I cannot wait to go snowboarding again. It's going to be freaking awesome. Canada has snow dragons. I wonder what a snow dragon is. That sounds pretty cool. Well, Tim, what'd you say? It's a snow iguana. Oh, okay. Tim, what altcoins have got your attention right now?
To be honest, I don't go digging and looking for altcoins. I just so you guys know, my portfolio is heavily Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. I'm dabbling in Solana, so I would say Solana, but that's not one that I'm playing, and I'm not looking for a new entry point in there. I probably should do more. Here's the one thing I will say to anyone who's new, and just so you guys know, I would like to think that my TA is coming along. I would like to think that my understanding of the market is getting better. I still, though, am less than a year old in this game, and I also appreciate and understand the more projects I try to learn all the information I can about, the less depth I can put into a few. So yeah. I am for sure one of those, let me go deep in my understanding of a few right now, and maybe down the line I'll expand that. But I would rather know a lot about a few than a little about a lot.
You gonna look into in a chain link, any?
No, that's one that, especially based off of talking with you and listening to other people, I'm like, all right, I gotta probably expand into chain link, but I'm not going to just say blindly, oh, Jebb likes it, so I'm diving over there.
No, please don't do that. Please never do that.
I'm going to do my own research on it.
Drop a hashtag Link Marines in the chat if you were part of the Link Marines. I just joined you guys, and I'm really enjoying it. I love Link. Link is already up, I'm pretty sure, from when I bought it. I think I bought it at 34. What is it at now? Chain link is at 34. There you go. So I broke it even. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our close, guys. We need to do our price predictions, don't we, Tim? And by the way, while he's preparing for that, I just want to let you guys know I have my monthly meeting tomorrow, so I will not be here, but Tim will be. He will be hosting the stream, and T-Shroom will be filling in the co-host seat, I do believe. Isn't that right, Tim?
Yeah.
So there's going to be a great show.
The show must go on.
There's going to be a great show tomorrow, guys. Just because I'm not here doesn't mean that any of the information is going to be different. I'm not even, there's so many people that work on the planning of the show now that it's going to be just as good of a show. You're going to get just the same quality information. You're going to have the same banter. You're going to have the same conversation. You're going to really enjoy it. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button, because quite frankly, I would like to hit 200K today instead of the day that I'm out of the office. That would kind of suck if we hit 200K subs the day that I'm not here.
Well, it would be about subscribe. Right. Literally, just so you guys know, every time that Jebb leaves to go to these meetings,
something huge happens.
Something massive. I'm predicting that Bitcoin jumps to 80,000 tomorrow, because that would be just about right.
Literally every time I'm gone, something crazy happens. Yeah. Like, you guys should just say, Jebb, get out of here, because something great happens. Anyway, let's keep going. Yeah,
so price predictions. I will go first because, have you put any thought into yours?
Nope.
I have mine. This is a problem. So that's why I don't want him to read his yet. Because,
explain to them what we're doing first.
Yes, for anyone who is new, we predict on Tuesdays what we think the price of Bitcoin will be 9:30 on Friday. It doesn't matter what it's at 9:31 or 9:29 or later in the day or the day before. We try to compete to predict what the price would look like at 9:30. It is an impossible task, so please do not use our numbers to make any investment. We don't use our numbers to make investments. We just want to compete with each other. If you want to put in the chat what your prediction is for Friday, let us know. But what I'm going to say is I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm not going to use as much TA for this as I am going to be using a combination of TA with just emotions and feelings and pumpamentals. And I think we're going to have a good couple of days. I'm going to say 70,000.
That's literally exactly the number.
Gosh darn it. Can we just tie? Can we share?
No, I'm gonna since I haven't spoken yet,
That's so dumb. I went first. I should get to choose the under or the over.
Well, I was going to say no higher than 70,000, so I was already going to try and predict something lower.
Okay.
I'm going to say 68,500.
68,500.
Yes. Smay, what you got?
I have 67,000.
Freak! I wanted to be the lowest.
That's rough.
Yeah.
T-Shroom, what you got?
Yeah, T-Shroom, what you got? Sitting over there on the floor.
Here, come speaking to the mic.
You guys probably don't realize that T-Shroom just sits on the floor while we're streaming. He's one of our researchers.
He's got 70 dismount from 100, I will punch you in the throat.
Lean in, baby.
That he will not do that. That is
gonna
against the
say-
terms of service for violence, Tim. You breaking all kinds of rules over there.
I'm having
I
a
want
rough
to
day.
say 69-420.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Fair.
Real
that is
mature. Real mature.
Yeah, so
T-Shroom.
I'm making a prediction right now. Jebb is not winning the HODL trophy this
I'm
weekend.
pretty sure I'm not going to.
It would be a miracle.
Well, I've won it 3 weeks in a row, so it's about time it sits on somebody else's desk, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
Oof.
Just got to go there. I had to go there,
It's
man.
true, though.
It's
Yeah.
true.
You have
Guys,
had been on a streak.
it's true. Guys, hit that like button if you enjoyed today's show. That's all we got for you. If you did enjoy, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can get 200K subs by the end of the day. And make sure to follow me on Twitter. We just hit 30K followers. Follow us over on Instagram and TikTok. We're posting literally every single day over there, price updates, so you don't want to miss that. And guys, make sure also to check out our sponsor, Lux Algo. The link for that is in the description box down below. You can learn everything about how to use Lux Algo by watching our videos. And if you use coupon code Jebb, J-E-B-B, you will get 20% off at checkout. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.